Junto Nakatani versus Vincent Astrolabio, 12 rounds in the 118-pound division. Let's get into it. Let's start with the champ, Junto Nakatani. 27 wins, no losses, and 20 wins by way of knockout. There is no secret that Junto Nakatani is probably a big favorite in this one. I'm not sure how much, what those odds are looking like, but I'm assuming he is going to be a big favorite. He's also fighting at home. He's undefeated. He's the champ. So there's a lot of things that's working in Junto Nakatani's favor before the fight even starts. So we've talked about Nakatani a bunch of times on the channel already. So it's not hard to see why he's the big favorite here. To this point, Junto Nakatani has shown that he's the real deal, man. I mean, he had a massive year last year, beating RG Cortez by decision, but scoring 3 knockdowns along the way, a body shot in the 5th round, and dropped him again with another body shot in the last minute of that round, dropped him again in the 9th round, and he didn't close out the show, but it was a one-sided fight, a one-sided affair. And he punched up RG Cortez. RG Cortez gave a recent champion a tough fight. Cortez is a good, solid fighter. He's not someone who should be taken out as easily as Junto Nakatani was able to do and put a beating on him. And of course, we can't forget his fight with Andrew Maloney in that 12th round with that knockout of the year candidate, a knockout of the year for many people, Andrew Maloney, man, he was taking a beating in that fight. He should not have even entered that 12th round. They probably should have stopped the fight a little bit earlier because Nakatani was not playing with that man. Nakatani was not playing with that man one bit. Nakatani, to me, man, he's solid across the board. He's got very good technique. He's got good power. He isn't afraid to let his hands go. He goes to the body. He goes to the head. He takes good angles, subtle changes. He's rangy. He's a good counter puncher. And he's not the greatest defensive fighter, but he's a solid defensive fighter. When he lets his hands go, man, he's not to play games with you. You know what I'm saying? Like Jay-Z said, it's to aim at you and to blow you to smithereens. You know what I'm saying? All my rappers and my music heads, you gonna catch that one. Comment if you know what song that is from, right? But what I'm saying is Nakatani's power to this point is real. And not only is it real, it's been traveling with him. It travels with him as a flyweight, then as a superweight, and now as a bantamweight. So the consistency in what he can do, this isn't a fluke, what he's been able to accomplish. He's proven that he can fight at least on a couple division levels already. Now, when he fought Alejandro Santiago, I was expecting that to be a bit of a true test for him. I was expecting Santiago to give him a little bit more work, right? Because Santiago, man, he's came up a couple times in his fight on the short end. Some of those draws that he has on his record could have went either way. And, he wasn't the most favorable guy coming in, and he got the other end of the stick. But he was coming off of a great performance against Nonito Donaire. And Nakatani kind of made short work of him, man. I mean, kind of real short work, and closed out the show in the 6th round. The 5th round of Junto Nakatani was an excellent round. He was slipping shots, countering Santiago, going to the head, going to the body, landing that straight hand, changing angles, letting shots off. Calculated. It was an impressive performance. It was an impressive fight. I thought that fight was going to go the distance, man, but Nakatani clearly had other things in mind because he was able to close out the show in the 6th round. The one thing I like about Nakatani as well, too, apart from his skill, he's got that killer mentality, that killer instinct. When his opponent is hurt, man, he knows how to add that finishing touch to it and close out the show in exciting fashion. And when Nakatani punches, man, he turns that knuckle. So when his opponents feel it, so when he throws his hands, man, his opponents definitely feel it. Now, he did get touched up a little bit against Santiago. He can take a shot. I don't know to the extent of what yet. We don't know what that chin is fully like, but he did take Santiago's chin. He did take Santiago's shots very well. Nakatani overall, man, he's an excellent fighter. And I don't think we've seen him at his best yet, man. A lot of people have been talking about Naoya Inoue and Gervonta Davis, but, Nakatani and Inoue, is not too crazy far off. I think that could be a possibility, and it would be a massive fight in Japan. If that fight ever happens, we'll see. But I think Nakatani, I don't think he would have a problem going up to 135 and 140. I think his body can fill it out if he chooses to move up and continue at this pace. But he's first got to get past Vincent Astrolabio, man. So let's talk about him. Vincent Astrolabio, 19 wins, 4 losses, 14 wins by way of knockout. Of his 3 losses, he's only been stopped once. He's been stopped by a guy who doesn't have the power like Junto Nakatani, but Astrolabio also has wins over Guillermo Rigondeaux. Astrolabio has also fought for a title last year when he fought Jason Maloney. And I felt like he gave Maloney a very good fight, a very, very good challenging fight. Astrolabio is an explosive fighter, man, light on his feet. He's got good pop. He moves with confidence, and he's a good counterpuncher, man. He's got a good jab. He lets his hands go to land his shots, and, you know, he put some nice pressure on Maloney and had Maloney in the championship rounds fighting on that back foot, trying to survive a little bit. When Astrolabio is coming on the front foot and marching forward, that's when he's at his best. But when Maloney was able to push him back and he was fighting on the back foot, that's not when he maneuvers at his best. I thought Maloney boxed very well in that fight, and Astrolabio wasn't able to cut off the ring well enough to slow down Maloney. He was loading up on his shots with every shot, trying to land that one big shot to close out the show, and I felt like that worked against him. If he would have just maybe not take those big shots or try to get those big shots, but try to be a volume guy rather than just a one-shot knockout guy, he might have been able to outwork Maloney and possibly steal those rounds, maybe even get the edge. He just could have been a little bit more consistent with his work rate. But I did think he fought well that fight to me. Recently, he fought Nawafon Kikhana, a guy who has a bunch of fights, man, most of them being over in Thailand. So you got to, you know, and you question the level of competition that he was fighting because 59 wins by knockout, you know, and that fight, Astrolabio, man, he looked dialed in. This was a title eliminator, so you kind of always dialed in a little bit more with those eliminators. But Astrolabio, man, brought calculated pressure. He countered well, let off good combinations. He fought very well. And the separation, as the fight went on, the separation from talent and skill, you could see it was kind of apparent. Astrolabio was just the more complete fighter. Astrolabio landed some punishing shots, some uppercuts from in close that were lethal, some great steam on them, and he finished the fight in exciting fashion. He stopped Nawafon in the 11th round. So Astrolabio isn't a guy who's going to take it easy on nobody. He's not a guy that's going to lie down for nobody. He's a guy that's going to bring the fight to you. And if you're going to beat him, man, you're going to have to take him out because he does not stop coming forward. So I do think Nakatani has to be better defensively because I do think Astrolabio has some good pop on his shots. And this is a guy who is looking to sit down on these shots, and he's explosive with his movement enough to generate shots and power like that very quickly. He's an explosive fighter. So we're going to see how it goes, man. I'm looking forward to seeing how it does unfold. So who wins? Before I give my pick on this fight, I have something real quick to share. You know, I'm always looking to bring more light, more value, more opportunities for the community. I've been working on a few different things in recent weeks to not just grow the channel, but as I said, to continue to provide as much value as I can to each of you in our community. With that being said, I got some exciting news to share. I'm happy to announce my partnership with BetStamp and Sign Up Expert. It's a great opportunity for you to join some of the best sports books to get the best odds and new user offer. All you have to do is head over to my dedicated page at signupexpert.com/the breakdown to explore a selection of sports books tailored to your region, each with its own unique offerings. So if you want to place a bet this weekend and on this fight and beyond, check out the link to find the best options for you in your region. Every sign up does support the channel, and it helps the channel grow and to expand and to create more opportunities, not just for me, but for our community. You know, I'm always looking out for you guys as best as I can. You can easily find the link in the description below this videos and videos moving forward. So get down there and check it out and find the best option for you. Now, let's get back to the video. I think this is going to be a good fight. while the fight lasts. You know what I'm saying? I think Astrolabio sits on his punches, yes, but he doesn't always pull back and cover up and leaves himself open to being countered. I also think sometimes he admires his work a little bit too much and he drops his hands lower than it needs to be. And Nakatani will make you pay if you allow him to do that. Nakatani doesn't need a whole lot of space. But if you can't cut off the ring against him, and if you allow Nakatani to get into his groove and work that mid-distance, he's going to pick you apart with that reach advantage, the height advantage. And I just think the craftiness of him being a southpaw as well, too, is going to have Astrolabio in some trouble. But I do think Astrolabio can hurt Nakatani, but I don't think Nakatani will allow Astrolabio to be consistent with his work, nor do I think he'll put himself in danger for too long. He'll be better defensively to me, in my opinion. So I like Junto Nakatani, man, to win this fight by stoppage. The guy who stopped Astrolabio is not as skilled, nor as talented, nor as big as a puncher as Junto Nakatani. And I think it's going to show on the night. I think Astrolabio is a very good fighter, but I think he is in tough on the night against the champ, in my opinion. I like Nakatani by stoppage. So those are my thoughts. I would love to hear from you. How do you think this one goes? Who do you have winning this one? Let me know in the comments section below. I don't always get to do all the suggested videos you guys suggest in the comment section below, but if you become a member, those suggested videos rise to the top, and I will do my best to get those done for you that week. Or if you'd like to become a member just to show love and to support the channel, man, that would be greatly, greatly appreciated. If you also want to support the channel by donation or Cash App, you can find the handles in the description below. We're almost at 6,000 subscribers, so if you know someone that likes to talk boxing, definitely share this channel with them. So with all that being said, man, if you've been watching the video this time, do me a favor and subscribe to the channel, and we'll definitely see you next time.